Hi students, today in this session we are going to discuss some basic terms involved in optical isomerism by taking some examples. So after watching this video, you will get a clear idea about optical isomerism. So in the previous video, we have discussed about optical isomerism. So I will give you the link in the description. So now in this session, we are going to discuss about these terms by taking some examples. So what is enantiomers? What are racemic mixtures, racemization, resolution, diastereomers and mesoforms. So now let us take an example of lactic acid. Lactic acid. So the molecular formula of lactic acid is like this. So here it is the structure of lactic acid. So you know very well this lactic acid is present in milk. So in this lactic acid, here it consists of one chiral carbon. So here it is the chiral carbon. So this is attached to 4 different atoms or groups. So that's why this is the chiral carbon. So if any molecule consists of one chiral carbon, that molecule is generally optically active. So this molecule is optically active. So now we have to check what are the isomers possible for this lactic acid. So we know the optical isomerism is one type of configurational isomerism. The optical isomerism is one type of configurational isomerism. The configurational isomerism arises due to breaking and making of covalent bonds. So here by breaking this bond and again it is formed here. By breaking this bond it can be formed here. So like this we can obtain another isomer. So that is like this COOH, here H and OH and CH3. So by breaking and making of bonds, it forms another isomer. So here it is also chiral carbon because it also consists of 4 different atoms or groups. So now how can we predict the possible number of isomers for any molecule? So the number of isomers possible, the number of optical isomers, the number of isomers possible is given by the formula 2 power n, where n is the number of chiral carbons. So here there is one chiral carbon is there, so that's why 2 power 1, that is 2. So in this way we get 2 isomers only. So here the molecule, whether it is dextro molecule or levo molecule, cannot be predicted by seeing the molecule. It can be predicted only by experimental method, that is by placing in polarimeter. Okay, so whether it is levo molecules or dextro molecule cannot be predicted by seeing the molecule. It can only be predicted by using polarimeter. So for our convenience, here the OH is present at the right hand side. So that's why it may rotates in clockwise direction. So if the molecule rotates the plane of the polarized light in clockwise direction, then it is called dextro molecule. So that's why it is D-lactic acid. It is D-lactic acid. And here the OH is present at the left hand side. So it may rotates in anti-clockwise direction. So that's why it is called L-lactic acid. L-lactic acid. So in this way, these two molecules, one exhibits dextro rotation, other exhibits levo rotation. Okay. So here if you observe these two molecules, there exists a mirror image relationship between these two. So the mirror image of this molecule is this one. So here these two are mirror images, and if you superimpose one molecule on the other, suppose this molecule is placed on this molecule, there is no coincidence because there is a difference in H and OH. So these are not superimposing. So that's why these two molecules are non-superimposing and possessing mirror image relationship. So the optically active isomers which are having non-superimposable mirror image relationship are called enantiomers. Okay. So the enantiomers means these are the optically active isomers which are having non-superimposable mirror image relationship. Okay, this is the definition for enantiomers. So the optically active isomers which are having non-superimposable mirror image relationship. And next one. So these enantiomers are generally, they will possess similar melting points and boiling points and density and refractive index. So all are the physical properties. All are the physical properties. That means all the enantiomers will possess similar physical properties. That means these enantiomers cannot be separated by using physical properties. Okay. So the enantiomers will have similar physical properties. Remember this point. And next one, racemic mixture. So racemic mixture means here it is a D molecule, that is D lactic acid, here it is L lactic acid. So the D compound is represented by using plus and L compound is represented by using minus. Okay, this is positive plus isomer, this is minus isomer. So here the racemic mixture means if you mix these two isomers in equimolar proportions, that is 50% of D isomer and 50% of L isomer is mixed together, then we get an racemic mixture. So that's why racemic mixture can be defined as the equimolar mixture of D and L isomers. The equimolar mixture of D and L isomers is called racemic mixture. Okay, clear? The equimolar mixture of D and L isomers is called racemic mixture. So it is represented by DL or plus minus. So here in racemic mixture both D isomer and L isomer are present. So that's why it is called DL. And this racemic mixture is optically inactive. So why it is optically inactive? So in racemic mixture there is a plus isomer and minus isomer, that is D isomer and L isomer. If plus isomer rotates the plane of the polarized light through an angle theta in clockwise direction, the L isomer will rotate the plane of the polarized light towards left hand side with the same angle theta. So that means it is represented by minus, it is represented by plus. So these signs indicates the direction of rotation only. So the magnitude is same but the direction will be different. So that's why in racemic mixture there is an equimolar mixture is there. So that's why the net rotation is 0. The net rotation will be equal to 0. That means it will does not rotate plane of the polarized light. So that's mean it is optically inactive. So the racemic mixture is optically inactive. The racemic mixture is optically inactive. Why it is optically inactive? It is optically inactive due to compensation of the rotations. So the rotation is compensated between D compound and L compound. So here the compensation is externally. So that's why the racemic mixture is optically inactive due to external compensation. External compensation. Remember this point, the racemic mixture is optically inactive due to external compensation. Okay, clear? And next goes to racemization. So here in order to explain this racemization, let us take another example. Let us take 2-bromobutane. This is 2-bromobutane. So when it is treated with aqueous KOH, we get the substitution reaction, that is OH is substituted at the place of bromine. Here we get two molecules, that is two isomers are observed like this. So here OH is present at the right hand side, so it forms D compound. Here OH is present at the left hand side, that is L compound. So here the mixture of D and L isomers are observed. So this reaction proceeds through SN1 mechanism, that is, so here the bromine is replaced by OH. So here it rotates in clockwise direction, that is D, here it rotates in anti-clockwise direction, that is L. So here the mixture of isomers is observed. So here it is a chiral carbon, that means no doubt it is optically active. So this is optically active molecule since it consists of only one chiral carbon. So this optically active molecule is converted into an optically inactive racemic mixture. Here it is a racemic mixture, you know, racemic mixture. This is an equimolar mixture of D and L isomers. So it is a racemic mixture. This is optically inactive. Optically inactive. So this process is called racemization. So the process of conversion of an optically active molecule into an optically inactive molecule is called racemization. So here it is The process of conversion of an optically active isomer into an optically inactive racemic mixture is called racemization. Okay, clear? And next one is resolution. So resolution means the reverse process of racemization is called resolution. So here it is racemization. So next, resolution. The reverse process of racemization is called resolution. So resolution means the process of preparing an optically active molecule from the racemic mixture, that is the separation of racemic mixture into an individual D isomer or L isomer is called resolution. Okay, the process of separation of a racemic mixture into its individual D isomer or L isomer is called resolution. And next one, diastereomers and mesoforms. So these two can be explained by taking another example. So that is tartaric acid. So if you take tartaric acid, the molecular formula or the structure is like this. So this is tartaric acid. You know very well tartaric acid is present in tamarind. So this is the structure of tartaric acid. So here we can get number of isomers. See here how many chiral carbons are there? There are 2 chiral carbons are there. So 2 chiral carbon means 2 power n, that is equal to 2 power 2, that is 4 isomers will exist. So here 4 isomers will exist by breaking and making of bonds. So now let us check those 4 isomers. So those are obtained by breaking and making of bonds. Suppose if we interchange these two by breaking and making of bonds, we get like this. And again interchanging these two, we get like this, COOH. So simultaneously we are breaking and making these 4 bonds, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we have to interchange these 2 groups only. So here we get OH here and H here. So this will be present as it is, OH and H and COOH. And now let us interchange these 2 groups. We get another isomer, COOH, OH and H. It is present as it is, and we can interchange these 2. So then we get like this. Okay. So these 4 isomers are possible. So by interchanging, that means by breaking and making of bonds, we can get these 4 isomers. So among these 4 isomers, we have to predict now which is optically active and which is optically inactive. So now let us check this one. So here it consists of 2 chiral carbons. Here this OH is present at the right hand side, so it rotates in clockwise direction. Here it is left hand side, so it is also in clockwise direction. So the net rotation is towards clockwise direction, so it is D-tartaric acid. Here it is left hand side, right hand side, rotation is in this direction. So it is L-tartaric acid, rotation is towards anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so here it is left hand side, here also left hand side, rotation is like this and like this. Here is a compensation is there is no net rotation due to compensation. So here the net rotation is 0, that is 0 rotation, there is no rotation. So here also OH is right side and right side, so here also the net rotation will be 0. Okay, so here it is called dextro molecule, here it is levo molecule, and these 2 molecules there is no rotation, so these are called meso compounds or mesoforms. So these 2 are called meso compounds. So mesotartaric acid is optically inactive due to presence of some plane of symmetry. So observe these 2, here is a plane of symmetry. Okay, there is no plane of symmetry here. Here is a plane of symmetry for these 2 molecules. So due to presence of these plane of symmetries, this molecule is optically inactive. So the meso compound is optically inactive. Optically inactive. Why it is optically inactive? So there is a compensation arises internally in the same molecule. In case of racemic mixture, the compensation arises due to 2 molecules, that is plus D molecule and L molecule. So dextro molecule and levo molecule both compensate with each other and the net rotation will be equal to 0. But in case of meso compounds, the compensation is only within the same molecule. So that means it is the internal compensation. So the meso compound is optically inactive due to internal compensation. Internal compensation. Okay, clear? So this is called meso compound. So the meso compound is optically inactive. Here there is a plane of symmetry. Okay. So if you observe these 4 molecules, among these 4 molecules, these 2 are optically active and these 2 are optically inactive. So how many optically active isomers are there? 2. How many isomers are there? 4. How many optically inactive isomers are there? 2. Okay. Likewise, you can ask any questions in your examination. And next, so here this L compound and D compound both are having non-superimposable mirror image relationship. Again, these 2 are having non-superimposable mirror image relationship. So that's why these 2 are called enantiomers. So here let it be labeled as 1, 2, here it is 3 and 4. So here 1, 2 exhibits non-superimposable mirror image relationship. So that's why 1 and 2 are called enantiomers. Enantiomers. So if you observe 1 and 3, these 1 and 3 does not possess any mirror image relationship and they are also non-superimposable with each other. So the isomers which are having non-superimposable and not the mirror images, then those are called diastereomers. So 1 and 3 are called diastereomers. Okay, clear? So diastereomers means the isomers which are does not possessing mirror images and does not superimpose with each other. So the isomers which are not the mirror images and non-superimposable, then those are called diastereomers. So again 1 and 4 also diastereomers. So here you have to remember one point. So the diastereomers will have different physical properties. Different physical properties. Diastereomers will have different physical properties, whereas enantiomers will have similar physical properties. That's why the enantiomers cannot be separated by using either density, refractive index or melting point or boiling point, whereas these diastereomers can be easily separated by that points, that is melting point or refractive index or density. So remember, the diastereomers will have different physical properties. Okay, clear? So in this way, meso compound. Next one, the meso compound means this is the meso compound. So diastereomers will have different physical properties. So remember this one. So in this way we can define all these terms. Okay, clear? So in the next video we will learn a small trick how to identify the number of isomers for optically active molecules. So please like the session, share the session and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.